Hello everybody. Welcome to Trigger Happy Havoc Danganronpa Part 15. Welcome to the stream, yes. Hello. Welcome to the stream. Let's give it a minute here. All right, here we go. Hey, what's up, Philip? Welcome. Welcome to the stream. Oh, I don't want to ruin it for everybody. Where's Spider? We might have to wait for Spider. This is pretty important. This must be some kind of underground garbage pit. A heck of a situation to find myself in. But that wasn't just the beginning of my problems. Was I going to be stuck in there, wait till I wasted away and died? No, I can't let that happen. Not after what my good friend went through to save me. I remembered all too well what had happened. That alter ego saved me. And he used up the last little bit of strength to do it. So I can't give up now. For myself and for my friend. And with that, my pursuit of survival began. First up was to start looking for a way out of here. What about the door? Rattle, rattle. It's locked. No matter how many times I pushed or pulled or kicked at it, it didn't budge. Getting out of here isn't going to be that easy. Well, if I'm not getting out of here anytime soon, I decided to look around for some food. There's plenty of food here, but it's all rotten. But that was pointless too. Next, I searched for some water. How can I be sure which liquids I can drink and which ones are all around bad idea? Again, pointless. I feel like I'm blocked in on all sides. But that's still not enough reason to give up because I'm still alive. As long as I'm alive, I'll never give up. After making that proud declaration, the next thing I decided to do was go to sleep. My sleep was deep and uninterrupted. That was my only way to preserve what little strength I had left after not being able to eat or drink. I can't be sure what I think at least a full day had to have passed. And all I did was sleep and sleep. It was like I was waiting for some kind of sign to come falling out of the sky. However, what fell from the sky wasn't a sign, not exactly. What the? The strange sound pierced my silent isolation, jarring me awake. As I watched the pile of garbage jostled and formed an odd shape, Did something fall down over there? Something fell from up above. What could it have been? Did a giant piece of trash just fall down here? I carefully stretched my hand out toward it, whatever it was that had tumbled down here with me.
Just a second.
A giant piece of trash? Rude. Before she even emerged from the pile of garbage, I knew who it was.
It smells awful.
Wow, she's alive. This place smells awful. Kayako?
Indeed.
You look like you were doing better than I expected. What are you doing here?
So...
Isn't it obvious I'm here to help you? I'm glad to hear that, Kayako. You've gotten a bit of garbage in your hair. She gave her head a quick, sharp shake to get rid of all the trash, then faced me again.
Hey.
First, I have something for you. Go ahead and eat it. We can talk once you've finished. Thank you. I snatched the bread out and water that she was holding out for me. Within seconds, it was in my mouth and making its way toward my stomach. Whew, that really hit the spot. Now I've got all the energy I need to keep going. So you haven't still given up then? Of course not. After all, that fact that I can keep going forward is about all I'm good at. Well, that's not such a bad idea to be good at. Or a bad thing to be good at. Alright, where are we now here? Is that an airplane? Looks like it. How did something like that wind up in the school's garbage pit? Oh, what's this? It's a bear. That's a rocket and a tank. I better not think too much about what I'm seeing down here. This is a desk. It's probably like the one that fell down here with me. I better talk to Kayako. Alright. But Kayako, why'd you come to rescue me?
So...
To pay a debt, or no, to atone. Atone?
You...
During the trial, even though you knew I was lying, you didn't say anything. So you knew that I knew.
Indeed.
But even though I knew, I did nothing to help you. I abandoned you. Don't say that. You didn't abandon me. No, that's exactly what I did. I abandoned you in order to save my own life. You were trying to save me, and I couldn't bring myself to do the same for you.
However...
But listen, not that I'm going to try to make excuses, but there was a reason that I had to survive no matter the cost. Why did you have to survive?
It's true.
I'll tell you everything. The reason I have to survive...
In other words...
is so that I can do what I came to do this school to do. Is so that I can do what I came to this school to do. What? I made up my mind to come to Hope's Peak Academy for one very important reason. So you have a reason for coming to Hope's Peak?
Indeed.
That's right, at least I did once. Once. Until recently, I'd forgotten what it was. You forgot? But that's... I had no memory of my purpose. I had no memory of what my purpose was. No memory? That's impossible. Amnesia? Then is it really true? You lost your memory?
Makoto.
Do you remember, Makoto? Do you remember the first thing that happened to each of us as soon as we arrived at the school? The first thing. You're talking about when we fainted, right? I fainted when I woke up I was trapped here.
That's right.
I fainted too, and when I woke up, I noticed a strange feeling of separation within myself, a disconnect.
It would seem...
Thinking back on it now, at that point my memory was gone. At that time I had forgotten. I couldn't remember why I'd come to this school, and I couldn't remember what my ultimate ability was. But what would make you forget all that?
Hey.
Strange, isn't it? It's hard to imagine it happened by chance. It seems too convenient. Are you saying you think you lost your memory because...
Indeed.
I don't think. I'm positive it was the work of the mastermind. They stole my memory. But why would they want to do that? There's only one reason I can come up with. Because of my purpose and my ability, somehow they would interfere with the mastermind's plans. So the masterminds just stole them from you?
However...
And it could also mean somehow my memories may be connected to the mystery of the school and the mastermind. Which is why I have to get them back. And that's why I've been investigating things by myself this whole time. But if what you say is true, why didn't you ask the rest of us to help you?
Why is that?
If I did that and we all worked as one, the mastermind would have noticed right away. Plus, there's always the chance that the mastermind is actually one of us. What?
Correct.
Well, don't make a too big deal of it. It's just a possibility. But since it is a possibility, we can't ignore it, right? The mastermind, one of us. If she believed that, then of course she couldn't trust anyone around here. In which case it only makes sense that she would look into her missing memory by herself.
However...
That being said, there was a limit to what I could do by myself, which is exactly why I asked you to help me. But why me? Because among everyone, you were the least likely to be the mastermind. That was just intuition, but... I see. Your intuition was right, though. There's no way an ordinary kid like me could have been the mastermind.
I understand. I should understand everything. My goal isn't to get out of here. It's to stay here.
It's just like the dream I had before, but why did that just happen?
Listen.
Hey, what's up, Traded David? Welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? Are you okay? Oh yeah, it's nothing. It is nothing, right?
Hey.
Even I still trust you, you know. It's just I'm not used to relying on others.
Correct.
I know I never asked you for help the right way, so I understand if you're not convinced. Honestly, I was convinced. I think that's just her personality. Is that an airplane? How did something like that wind up in the school's garbage pit? There's an unbelievable amount of trash here. Oh, you recently got the side order trade? Nice. Nice, nice. I've made it to the 20th floor trade. Other people have beaten it, but I'm not as good as them. They probably played it a little bit more than me too, though. But yeah, I got to floor 20. I almost beat the boss. I was on the last stage of the boss. You said you had a reason for doing all that investigating on your own. So how'd that turn out? Were you able to remember anything?
So,
I think there's still a lot I don't remember, but at very least, I was finally able to recall my purpose and my ability. You mentioned your ability. My ability, what everyone should have known for me, or known me for. I'm the ultimate detective. Oh, really? Wow. She's the ultimate detective. The ultimate detective?
correct.
And the reason I came to Hope's Peak Academy, there was someone I had to find here in the school. You had to find someone who?
So,
Well, it was the headmaster of Hope's Peak Academy. The headmaster? Why did you want to find the headmaster? Because he's my father. Oh, wow. What?
in other words,
I was separated from him as a child. As it turns out, he became the headmaster of Hope's Peak. Kayako's dad is Hope's Peak headmaster? That explains it. When Alter Ego told us how he thought the headmaster was involved. I'll find a way. No matter what it takes, I will find the headmaster.
No matter what?
No matter the cost.
So,
Kayako, what's going on? My memory hadn't come back at that point, but when he said that, I felt strange. It makes perfect sense now, of course, since my whole purpose for coming here was to find him. That makes sense.
However,
But listen, Makoto, I don't want to make this perfectly clear so there's no misunderstanding. I said the headmaster wasn't the mastermind, but I didn't say that to protect him. I only said what I felt based on what I'd seen when I snuck into the headmaster's room. Then what did you see in there?
so,
The room had been totally ransacked, the shelves were a mess, the drawers were dumped on the floor. The only conclusion is that someone who didn't know where anything was had to have been in there. You mean the mastermind, right?
it's true.
That was my assumption, yes. And to confirm my suspicion, I decided to investigate the second floor of the dorms using the key I'd found. But why there? Oh, see you later, Trade. Thanks for stopping in. Hey, what's up, Pixel? Welcome, welcome. Because I found this in the headmaster's room. This is some kind of map.
Indeed.
It's a layout of the entirety of Hope's Peak Academy. I found it in the headmaster's room along with Makuro's profile and that key. The map showed that the second floor was home to a number of rooms meant for faculty use. Some of the staff must have had to stay overnight from time to time. And I figured the headmaster would have some kind of private room there. I assumed that if they were true, that room would likely hold more clues, so I went to check.
Correct.
And that's when I finally remembered. I remembered that my purpose was to find the owner of that room. So you went there to see if the headmaster really did have a private room there?
However,
But once I got there, I noticed that the second floor of the dorms didn't have any cameras or monitors. So what was it like, that part of the school? I mean, it's hard to describe. All I can say is, the moment I saw it, I realized whatever's going on in this school is more horrific than we ever imagined. What do you mean?
So,
I can't explain it. You need to see for yourself. And I'm sure you'll get your chance soon enough. Sounds like it must be important. And really ominous. I'd better talk to Kayako. Again? Jeez, I just did.
however,
Of course, once I got to the second floor dorms, there was no more cameras or monitors. So what was it like, that part of the school, I mean? Yeah, we just saw this.
So,
Guess I already did that. Where do I go now, man? Said I'd better talk to Kayako, but she's telling me the same thing.
however,
Oh, you know what I gotta do? I gotta do the other side. Hold on.
so,
I think I know. Yeah, I gotta talk to her without the purple text.
however,
Which is why I have no idea what is going on in the rest of it. It has to do with Mikuro Ikusaba, doesn't it?
however,
Just to be perfectly clear, I didn't kill her. And I know it wasn't you either. I know you're right, but that just means everyone but you and me had an alibi. So then who did kill her?
anyway,
What I can say for sure is that the mastermind is directly involved. To begin with, the point of the class trial at Mikuro Ikusaba was to get me killed. Get you killed?
indeed,
I stole that key and disappeared, and in retaliation, they wanted to draw me out and eliminate me.
correct,
That was the point of the class trial. It was? The mastermind knew that they couldn't interfere directly. You mean because of the school regulations? Hey, what's up, Spider? Welcome, welcome. Yeah, you're a member now, Spider. Pixel bought you memberships. You mean because of the school regulations?
that's right,
Exactly. With minimal restrictions, you are free to explore Hope Peak Academy at your discretion.
in other words,
The mastermind is adamant about following the rules, and with that rule in place, they couldn't step in. Since they couldn't kill me themselves, they tried to use the class trial to do it. The mastermind couldn't step in because of the rules. That makes it sound like the mastermind themselves is somehow bound by the school regulations.
hey,
There's one other thing that I'd like to point out about the murder of Mikuro Ikusaba. What's that? There was a point when Mikuro may have not have become the victim. It could have been you, Makoto. I could have been the victim?
Indeed.
You know what I'm talking about, or wait, you know what I'm talking about, right? Do you mean during the night? I can hear them, you know. The footsteps of the god of death. What? I can hear the god of death as he moves. That ability naturally draws me into cases just like this.
Anyway.
Which is exactly what happened with you. I was in the dorms and I had a sudden sense of dread. I looked down the stairwell and I saw a white shadow across the corridor. I gave me chase right away. As I followed it, I saw the shadow go into your room.
Correct.
I ran into your room and I saw what was happening. I intervened immediately, of course.
However,
that wasn't the end of things, of course. I stopped them, but that led to whoever the mass assailant was, they ended up dead.
Correct.
And their murder was disguised, and the dojo key wound up in my room. It all has to be the work of the mastermind in an attempt to use the class trial to eliminate me. So all this would mean that whoever killed Mikuru is also the mastermind, right?
Indeed.
I don't have conclusive evidence, but that's what I think. But that's really bad if true. It means the mastermind can kill whoever they want if they feel like it. Wait, but doesn't that create another contradiction? The mastermind wanted to use the class trial to try and kill you because they couldn't interfere, right?
Correct.
You're right. That is a contradiction. And it's not just Mikuru. They needed the class trial to kill me, but seemed ready to kill you in your room. Everything they did is a contradiction. So what does it all mean?
In other words,
it means that the mastermind is the one who's been cornered. Huh?
Makoto.
Just a little more. A little more, and I should be able to figure out the mastermind's identity. The identity of the other ultimate despair. The other ultimate despair. There's no doubt that Mikuru was the ultimate despair and that she's dead. But I don't think the ultimate despair is just one person. It's not?
Indeed.
If you think about it, the ultimate despair seems to implicate whoever caused that event you're talking about.
That's right.
What happened a year ago, the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. The tragedy, whoever's responsible for that, they're the ultimate despair.
It would seem
That despicable group whose only purpose and motivation comes from despair. Then
indeed.
they make no mistake, they're the root of all evil that has forced us to go through this. That is the ultimate despair. And that is our real enemy. Chapter 5. The end. To be continued. The ultimate despair, a group of people who caused the tragedy 1 year ago. Those same people put together this killing game and began broadcasting it around the world. The most desperately awful group of people ever. That is the mastermind's true identity. Our enemy has finally been revealed. But right now we have to get out of this horrible place. Figuring out the rest of the story can come after. Yeah, you're right. We have to try a way to open this door. That's a rocket and a tank. I better not think too much about it once. How do I get out of here? Kayako, do you still have that one thing? Monokuma's secret tool that you got from the headmaster's room?
Indeed.
Of course I do. It's an absolute vital part of ensnaring the mastermind. I would never part with it. And it can open any door in the school, right?
That's right.
That's right. That we should be able to use it to open in that door, right? Here, hey Kayako, can we use that key of yours to open this door, right?
It's true.
Let's find out. Kayako took out the key with Monokuma's design on it and slid it into the keyhole. And then, click. Yes, it opened.
Indeed.
And now we get out of here and let's go. Sounds good. We quickly opened the door and made our escape from the garbage pit. Finally. We're finally free. But there wasn't even time to take a breath of relief. Because the real fight had just begun. Chapter 6. Deadly Life. After leaving the garbage pit, we found ourselves in a tunnel extending straight up like a chimney. There was a metal ladder leading up into the tunnel. We started climbing the ladder, intent on reaching the surface. The ladder was impossibly long. I couldn't even see where it ended. We climbed into the darkness. The passage was so dark and cramped I couldn't even see my own feet beneath me. I had no idea we were so far down.
Hey.
Don't lose your footing. If you slip, I won't be able to catch you. Yeah, I'll be careful. But now that you said that, I'm getting kind of nervous. Maybe talking will help keep your mind off of it. So Kayako, there's something I wanted to ask you. Strange angle? Yeah, it is a strange angle. You said you're there. You said you're the ultimate detective, right? So how long have you been doing this detective work? How long?
So...
Ever since I can remember. I come from a long line of detectives. Detective work is in my blood. There was a time when being a detective was considered a sacred duty. My family's always seen it that way. Then this is your family famous? Then is your family famous?
Wrong.
Quite the opposite, actually. Even among actual detectives, many people haven't heard of us. But how come? It's like your family tradition, right? So...
Right.
Because we take pride in it. Pride?
Indeed.
A detective is neither light nor shadow. We represent neither justice nor evil. That is how we can uncover the absolute truth. We stand neutral in all things, and to do that, we have to stand separate from the rest of the society. Which is why we've made a conscious effort to conceal our existence. A conscious effort?
It's true.
Hey, what's up, Josue? You got the gold, Joe? What's up, Josue? It's kind of old-fashioned, and I can't say it's entirely rational. But it's our family creed, and we do that what we must to protect it. Because like I said, it's our source of pride. Pride. So that explains. Before I came here, when I was looking up info on the school online, I never saw anything about her. Because she hid herself on purpose to protect the pride of her family.
However,
And yet, I gave up some kind of that pride. Huh? In order to enter Hope's Peak, I had to reveal myself to the school. I did it knowing it was something a true kirigiri detective would never do. But the reason you gave up that pride, the reason you would go so far to enter Hope's Peak, it was because that's how much you wanted to reconnect with your dad, right? There's no shame in that.
what?
Reconnect? I had absolutely no desire to reconnect with my father. Huh? But you've been reuniting after all those years, right? You would have so much to talk about.
Wrong.
There's nothing I want to talk to my father about.
However,
There's something I want to say to him, though. What? No matter what it takes, I have to find him and tell him face to face. What is it?
So,
I want to sever all ties with him. Sever? The last time I saw him, I was still very young. So I don't remember myself, but apparently he was extremely intelligent. He was in line to become the next head of the Kirigiri family. He was talented, he had a promising future.
however,
But he had no interest in detective work. So he cut himself off from the family. Not long after that, my mother died and he simply ran away. He went to my grandfather and they had a huge argument, and young as I was, he left me behind. I'm sure there was a reason for that. I'm sure your dad wanted to take you with him.
right.
If that's true, then I needed to thank him. Thank him for leaving me. Because unlike him, I take pride in the work I do. I take pride in my family name. So every last part of me is happy he didn't take me with him. If I'd gone with him, I never would have had the chance to become a detective. I was above Kayako on the ladder, so I wasn't able to see her expression. So I couldn't tell. I couldn't see how she looked when she said that, what she might have been feeling. And I could tell what was compared to her as usual. All I could tell was that compared to her usual self, she was more talkative and more emotional. I don't blame him, you know. He had his own life to live. That's why anyone in my position might say, right? It's not true.
However,
But there's one thing that I can never forgive. Really?
so,
The way everyone else looked at me. I was never sad about being left behind, like I said. I think it was a good thing.
however,
But when the rest of my family looked at me, they saw something different. They only saw me as a little girl that was abandoned by her father. That was how they see me, and even to this day.
I...
His shadow has been following me my entire life. I'm sick of it. I need him out of my life. I need to step out of his shadow.
Correct.
That's why I have to find him and tell him we're no longer family. In order to settle the past. In order to remove him from my life forever. I have no doubt he forgot about me years ago. But your family to just cut him out like that?
Wrong.
Our only connection is through blood, nothing more. Are we connected by heart and soul? No.
Hey,
Is blood really enough to call someone family? Only connected by blood, not only by heart and soul. I was shocked to hear her say something like that. I didn't know how to respond. So instead, I said nothing. I just kept climbing the ladder in complete silence. And after I don't know how long, we finally reached the top. Looks like this is it.
indeed.
On the other side of this door, Hope's Peak is waiting for us. We're back.
That's right.
Remember that hatch on the ground near the trash room? I'm fairly certain that we're all come out. That's where we'll come out. I unlocked it earlier, so it should be open without much trouble. Well, here goes nothing. I reached my right hand up and pushed against the hatch. The hatch opened with ease, and so... looks like we're back.
Whew.
But I can't believe how long that ladder was. I'm exhausted. I can't exactly say we're safe and sound, but at least we're out of here. Or out of there. Now we're back in Hope's Peak Academy. Kayako, thank you. I never would have gotten out of there without you. No thanks necessarily. No thanks necessary. I was just returning the favor. So now what do we do? I'm glad I didn't die, of course, but if the mastermind finds out, and I'm worried about you too, you helped me, so they might...
Listen.
You're worried? Yeah, of course.
So then,
Let's just get a concrete answer. Huh?
in other words,
Let's ask Monokuma if there's a problem with you escaping. Wait, that's...
however,
If we try to hide, it's only a matter of time till we're found out. And it's not like we can only run away. And she said that she pointed at a nearby surveillance camera. So you're saying rather than stressing out over getting caught, we should just give up now? Don't worry, what you think is going to happen isn't.
because
Because the mastermind is the one that's ensnared. The mastermind is ensnared. You said something like that before. What does it mean?
so
The mastermind stood exposed during the investigation into Makuru's death. There was a moment where the mastermind let their guard down. There was?
right.
If we can talk to Monokuma, we can confirm it. And it'll be better for us if we can go to him directly before he tracks us down. That should help with our investigation, or that should help with our negotiations. I'm still a little super uneasy about this. But we really don't have a choice, do we?
Indeed.
Monokuma should be in the gym.
Shall we go?
Let's get going. So where are we headed? To the gym?
now, well now, well now.
Kayako, I don't mind so much.
I
But
don't
Makoto's supposed to be dead.
believe it!
What is he doing here? That's exactly how I thought he'd react. And we really gonna be okay? Are we really gonna be okay? You were supposed to be punished. Did Kayako help you?
What?
So what if I did? What will you do?
Shing!
If the guilty party is exposed during the class trial, they alone will be executed. It's unfortunate, but that is the rule. So now I gotta punish you again, and this time I won't leave anything to chance. Kayako,
Right.
do whatever you feel you have to. What?
However,
But before you do, let me just say one thing.
no.
If you execute Makoto, that means you lose. Not that that matters to you, right? Huh? I lose?
Hey!
You, explain yourself. What do you mean by that?
Because
Well, you set up this latest class trial yourself, right? I was getting in your way, so you wanted an excuse to kill me.
in other words,
I was supposed to be chosen at the Blackened and then executed, right? Hey, what are you talking about?
however,
But when Makoto chose to overlook my lie, your plan came crashing down. The results of the trial weren't at all what you were expecting. Because you never imagined that in that position, one person would protect another like that.
right.
And in response to that unexpected development,
Indeed.
you reacted by proclaiming Makoto the Blackened and trying to execute him. You made the choice out of desperation, no more than that. You must have realized that Makoto, who refused to be manipulated, was a threat to you as well.
However,
But then there was another unexpected development waiting for you. An entity that would throw a wrench, so to speak, in your precious execution machinery. Alter ego. You never imagined the possibility of that being of a being that could come to our aid even after you'd killed it.
am I wrong?
Now here's the absolute truth. Makoto didn't kill Makuro, you did.
Listen to me.
So executing Makoto for it would surely be a violation of your rules, which I know you love so much. If the Blackened is exposed, they alone will be executed. That's what you told us, right? And that means I lose. You talk a big game, you're saying that the Blackened is me and not Makoto.
Well?
And you can prove this, right?
Well,
No, I can't. Don't just say it like that. What is this, a comedy routine? To make such a bold claims without a shred of evidence?
that doesn't matter.
I don't have any right now, but with a little more time, I guarantee I'll find some.
That's right.
Because no matter how deeply you try to bury it, there's only ever one absolute truth. And now you're trying to talk like some kind of famous detective type.
Because
If Makoto really was the killer, he would never have come to you willingly like this. He would have feared for his life, feared another execution. He would have tried to run and hide. He would have been gripped by the despair you so love to inspire.
however,
But here we are, confronting you with nothing but hope in our hearts.
What the heck?
And that's supposed to be enough to convince me in the absence of evidence?
indeed.
It's not you I'm trying to convince.
Hey,
If you were to execute Makoto now, everyone out there watching this would be extremely displeased. Huh?
indeed.
Imagine what everyone out there would think if you killed Makoto. They would assume that you killed him because what we said is exactly right.
Listen to me.
Despair can never kill hope.
Hey,
Of course, you can say we're just making this all up. You're welcome to prove us wrong. No, you have no choice but to prove it. Because if you kill Makoto without proving your own innocence, you'll be accepting your own defeat. If you want to earn our despair and fair and square,
that's what we have
then
to
I
do.
suggest you take my advice. So what's this advice of yours?
It's true.
To do Makuro's trial over again. Only this time you followed the school regulations to ensure a fair trial.
It's time for one last showdown.
It's time for one last showdown, one final battle between hope and despair.
Hey,
Well, that would make for a proper climax, wouldn't you say? A fair trial, one last showdown, in other words? This would be our chance to expose the true identity of Makuro's killer, of the mastermind themselves. But what reason would the mastermind have to accept the challenge? They'll probably just execute me with another word. Without another word. Interesting.
Barrett!
Very interesting indeed. Barry?
What's wrong?
Oh, I was getting bored, so I decided to change things up a little, so time for bear jokes. Now what I've suggested you might be plausible, it would certainly make for one honey of a climax.
in other words,
Does that mean you accept?
You guys!
If we do things your way, that'll be enough to convince you and the viewers, right? And it would cause you unbearable despair, right? Then I'm prepared to agree with your terms. Will your hope win out, or will my despair claim victory?
I can barely contain myself!
Monokuma would be a dad to make dad jokes? Yeah. Let's have one final grisly showdown. Ai agreed. Then we still have a shot at this.
Barrett!
But this is a long-awaited climax, right? Just guessing the killer is barely a fitting end.
You guys!
So for this final face-off, you'll have to unearth all the mysteries that you have been buried here. All the mysteries? That's right, every last mystery that's been pawing around the school. If you can do that,
I can barely
then that'll be
contain
enough to
myself.
qualify as a victory for you.
it's true.
That's what we've been trying to do all along. Okay, well, good. Then let's bear it all. If you claw your way to the truth of Makuro's death and solve the mysteries of the school,
You guys!
then you win. But if you can't do all that, we'll all face execution, right? I can barely contain my excitement. When you learn the whole truth, what kind of despair will you show me? Whoever is controlling them, at least? Yeah. We're as excited as you are, I'm sure.
Listen to me.
When we've uncovered every last truth, how will the ultimate despair reveal their own despair? I honestly can't believe how this has all turned out.
Hey,
But before we get started, I want to clarify one more thing. Do you remember the rule? When one student kills another, that's when a class trial is held.
What's wrong?
I remember that for sure, so what?
hey,
I just want to confirm that is what you said, right? And it's a true statement. You don't have to be so suspicious. I've said that before, but it bears repeating. Everything is based on the school regulations. And having a trial for Makuro is no exception to that. Huh? Makuro's trial is no exception. Then it's part of the regulations. Which would have to mean that whoever killed Makuro... It's a very polarizing approach, I know, but okay. Enough puns. Anyway, here's a hint. I'm sure I told you this already, but this killing game began with 16 participants, all of them high school students, and the only people to take a single step into Hope's Peak since the killing game began are those 16 students. What?
Listen.
Are you telling the truth? Why do you go all quiet all of a sudden?
Now I'm really angry.
I'm done talking. I got nothing left to say to you. So get lost, would you? Why so mad? He seems emotionally unstable.
Hey,
Leave me alone. Get out of here. Okay, I'm going. Adjust. You're really gonna let me go? I don't even care anymore. You're all gonna get your punishment later anyway. I need to start getting it ready. A super duper extra special punishment, overflowing with despair.
Hey,
Come on, Makoto, let's go. Monokuma's unstable lauder seemed to cling to us as we walked away. And just like that, we were out of the gym. I could hardly believe it, but somehow I ended up not getting executed. I still had my life, and we still had a chance. Overall, things turned out way better than expected. Once again, I was Kaiko's dad. Kaiko, thank you. Everything I have right now is because of you.
however,
Don't thank me just yet. The real battle is still ahead of us. Yeah, true. But still, I'm glad that it worked out. I wasn't sure if the enemy would accept my proposal. But honestly, why would the mastermind agree to that? I mean, they don't just stand to gain anything from a final showdown, do they?
so,
They had no choice but to accept. Huh?
because,
It's all because of that moment that the mastermind let down their guard, like I said. So when was it that the mastermind let their guard down?
so,
I wasn't there to hear it myself, but do you remember what the mastermind said? They said they had hijacked the airwaves to broadcast our school life to the outside world, right? Yeah, they definitely said that.
listen.
And what did you think when you heard that? Pretty hard to believe, right? Well, I mean, the idea of actually taking over the airwaves seems too unbelievable.
Indeed.
You don't exactly read about something like that happening very often, so it's hard to imagine. In other words, that kind of thing is extremely difficult to pull off.
However,
And yet, somehow the mastermind was able to do it.
in other words,
But think of it another way. There must have been some reason they had to do something that difficult. The last parts of the last sentence, massive foreshadowing.
so,
They had to show the world something no matter the costs, us killing each other. They wanted to show the world.
it would
The
seem,
mastermind has been very adamant about not killing us directly, but forcing us to kill each other. And all their rules and regulations were designed to encourage that. Yeah, that makes sense. If those stupid regulations didn't exist, nobody would have killed anybody.
in other words,
So the mastermind's ultimate goal was to make us kill each other and show that off to the world. But why?
correct.
To prove a point, most likely. Prove a point.
Hey,
The outside world has a name for the student's Hope's Peak, right? A certain concept. You're talking about hope, right?
that's right.
And for those of us who represent hope to kill each other and sink into despair, the mastermind wants the world to see that, to try and prove that despair is better than hope. That's their goal as the ultimate despair. What? They want to prove that despair is better than hope. But that's ridiculous.
It's true.
You're right, it's ridiculous, completely irrational. It's the kind of thing that nobody but those who call themselves the ultimate despair would devise. That group whose only purpose and motivation comes from despair. But is that really their only reason for making the rest of us suffer?
Makoto.
I know how angry it must make you, and yet that same motivation is what led to the mastermind revealing their weakness. What?
In other words,
Because their goal is to broadcast this killing game to the world. The mastermind has to be more particular than is reasonable about their own regulations. If the mastermind simply ignored the rules, this wouldn't have been a game, but a one-sided slaughter.
at the very least.
At least that's how those who were watching this would have seen it. And that's why the mastermind couldn't kill us, any of us themselves.
Indeed.
That is precisely the reason. No matter how much they may hate what I'm doing, I haven't violated a single one of the regulations. Junko broke the rules, so she was punished, but in my case, they couldn't lay a finger on me.
Right.
So instead, they tried to kill the class following their proper rules, so get me killed. So instead, they tried to use the class trial, following all their proper rules to get me killed. They began a trial that didn't have a right answer, then made me out to be the killer. But even when that didn't work,
It's true.
yes, thanks to you, and due to that failure, the mastermind took yet another risk. They've attempted to kill you instead, who also was not the killer. And when that fact was exposed on live TV to the entire outside world, the mastermind had to accept your suggestion.
Indeed.
To prove to the world that despair is better than hope, they have to defeat us in perfect form.
In other words,
It would only do the mastermind harm to have it shown that they violated their own regulations. But all that was a hunch, right? And you were still able to get the mastermind to accept your challenge.
however,
Well, it's only thanks to you that we got that chance, because you believed in me, another path opened up. Still, I can't believe how much of the mastermind's thoughts and plans you were able to figure out. I didn't have the slightest clue.
wrong.
In the end, though, I couldn't prove any of it. It was just my reasoning. Essentially, I was making a bet. But it looks like I've got it right. This time, at least, I won the bet. She let out a quick sigh. I took it as a small sign of relief. To be honest, I hadn't seen that nervous in a long time. I totally couldn't tell you were nervous at all. You seemed totally confident from the moment we decided to go talk to him. While presenting a strong demeanor is a fundamental part of negotiation and persuasion, wouldn't you say? Plus, if I showed my uneasiness, that would have just made you that much more uneasy. Yeah, you're probably right. How pathetic.
However,
Anyway, we can't just relax just yet. And all we've done is earn another chance to fight. We have to win this time.
correct.
Or everything we've done through will have been for nothing. You're right. If we can't defeat the mastermind, it'll cost all of our lives. There's no exception to win. Or there is no option except to win.
Hey,
But before we begin the final battle, we have to tell the others what's going on. True, but now we know who our real enemy is. All we have to do now is work together with everyone to destroy the mastermind. Work together with everyone?
however,
Is that really possible? Huh?
Anyway,
Anyway, right now we have to find the others.
shall we go?
They're probably in the dorms somewhere. Shall we go? Kaiko just telling us the same thing over and over? Yeah. Doesn't let you move on with the game, though, unless you talk to her. I don't think they're in these dorm rooms. Maybe they're on the other floor dorm rooms. Let's check that. It'll only let me go to this floor. So there's nobody on there. Kaiko, just cafeteria? You think I should go to the cafeteria? I don't think there's anybody in there. And suddenly we were greeted with... Oh, wow. You again. Is he broken? I suppose his emotional instability reached its limit. Geez, what the heck?
However,
I wonder what that was all about. I couldn't help but let us out a sigh of relief.
Is that Makoto?
You guys!
It is! There's no two ways about it. That's Makoto.
You survived?
Jeez, you're like a stubborn little cockroach, you know that?
I'm just asking to make sure, but you're not a ghost, right?
Yeah, the bear was... Monokuma was glitching out, Spider. Guys, I'm gonna get a drink real quick. Get a plain old water. Bottle of water. As soon as I saw their faces, I couldn't help myself. I started to tear up.
What?
Wait, what's that smell?
What the heck?
Yeah, man, that seriously stinks. It's Makoto. He smells like a wet dog. Get away, shoo, shoo. And in a flash, my tears dried up.
Makoto.
There's no time to indulge in an extended happy reunion. We need to explain to everyone what happened with Monokuma.
Yes.
Explain what? But is he okay that you're here? What if the mastermind catches you?
It's true.
That's related to what I have to tell you all. I need to tell you about the last class trial.
Huh?
Last class trial.
In other words,
We're going to redo Makuro's trial.
Huh?
What? Seriously?
How about that?
What's the point of redoing it? Makoto killed her, right? No, I didn't do it, like I keep telling you.
wrong.
Makoto isn't the killer, and of course, it's not me or any of you. Then who is it?
I see.
What she's saying is it was all the work of the mastermind.
Huh?
What? You're saying the mastermind killed Makuro?
That's right.
That's right, it was all an elaborate trap contrived by the mastermind. Makoto spotted the trap in time and did what he had to stop it.
However,
But his decision meant that he would be the one to die.
What did
You
you
spotted
say?
the trap, did you, Makoto? You make it sound like it was easy. I just,
however,
But by executing Makoto, who wasn't the blackened, is a clear violation of the school regulations. The rules state that only the blackened is to be executed. The mastermind broke their own rules. Which is why I went and negotiated with them to have the trial one more time.
Huh?
And the mastermind agreed? Does that mean they really did break the rules? They had no choice but to agree. You used the TV broadcast to gain the leverage you needed, didn't you?
correct.
Very observant of you.
Naturally.
I recall what you said at the end of the last trial. When you said, now it's the mastermind that's ensnared, that's what you were referring to.
Don't be mean!
Hey, I'm totally in the dark here. For anyone who doesn't understand, you can ask Kyoko to explain it again later. So knowing all this, what we do now,
About that.
it's about who killed Makuru, right? So our jobs is to expose the mastermind. But there's more to it than that, correct? Yeah. For us to win this time, we would have to solve every last mystery surrounding the school. Every last mystery. But we've been looking around all this time and we still don't know about anything, right?
Anyway,
You've probably guessed already, but if we lose this time, everyone dies.
Oh,
Everyone?
No!
I hate you.
Hey, who said you could agree to those terms without taking to the rest of us? Or talking to the rest of us? I'm fine with things the way they are. I'm fine living here forever with Master. I meanwhile want to get out of here as soon as humanly possible. Anyway, at this point, the only way for us to survive is to unravel the truth. In other words, one decisive final battle, a rather than interesting development, I'd say. But figuring out who the mastermind is and how they killed Makuru and all the school's mysteries, it's a pretty tall frickin' order. Maybe, but this time the trial is different. We know who our enemy is now. So if we work together and search as hard as we can, I'm sure we'll solve all those mysteries. I'm not sure about that. Huh? I can't agree with the idea of working together with everyone. You can't agree? Why not? I mean, working together with everyone seems like the most obvious way to solve all the mysteries.
Indeed.
That's what I thought too at first. Until Monokuma gave us that little hint of his. Hint? It's a very polarizing approach, I know, but okay. Enough puns. Anyway, here's a hint. I'm sure I told you this already, but this killing game began with 16 participants, all of them high school students. and the only people to take a single step in Hope's Peak the killing game began. Are those 16 students?
I see.
Monokuma said that, did he? Then Kayako's opinion is perfectly reasonable. Huh? But why?
So, in other words,
If the mastermind really is the one who killed Makuru, as Kayako says, then the mastermind would have to set foot in this school, right? Monokuma could probably murder Makuru, but there's no way he could have disguised the scene like that.
in other words,
But according to Monokuma, the only people who have set foot in Hope's Peak are the 16 students who have been taking part in this killing game. Then the mastermind is... There were 15 of us in the main hall at the very beginning. Add in Makuru and you get 16. So the mastermind would have to be one of them.
that's right.
And of those 16 people who started out, the only ones who's still alive are the people standing right here. Need I to continue, or do you get it now? Yes, you're saying the mastermind is one of us.
No way!
You can't be serious. Wait, we can't say for sure that's true yet. Monokuma might have just said that all. Monokuma might have just said all that to confuse us.
Indeed.
It's certainly a possibility, but only one among many. The mastermind being one of us is also a possibility. And that is one possibility we can't ignore. Yeah, I mean, they're an ultimate, right? The ultimate despair, so they must be a high schooler. You can't say it's not possible. But if one of us was the mastermind, they'd have to be controlling Monokuma somehow, right? But did you ever see anyone acting suspicious anytime Monokuma was active?
Well,
Maybe they snuck off and controlled him in secret.
but
I don't care how sneaky you are, we would have noticed someone sneaking off that many times.
I'm right?
Then maybe Monokuma was on an autopilot. Maybe they loaded up all the dialogue and actions beforehand. In that case, there's no way he could have had all those back and forth conversations with us. Well, it wouldn't be entirely impossible if they directed the flow of the conversation. Well, maybe, but still.
This is a school announcement. You've all probably figured this out by now, but at this point, the killing game has now entered true ending mode. So, in the name of fairness, I will unlock every room in the school. Look wherever you want. Solve the mystery in whatever way you see fit. Then we can all meet up at the class trial, okay?
How very magnanimous of him to unlock all the rooms.
That's fine.
The time for talk is done. Now we need to begin our investigation. But I was planning on working alone from the beginning anyway.
In the name of my
At this
family.
point, I can rely on myself on the Tagami blood flowing through my veins. I have no time to worry about the rest of you. Each of you must uphold your responsibility.
Goodbye.
Well then, After making his final statement, Byakuya left the dining hall. Master. He didn't take me with him.
Hey.
Do you blame him? Without Master, the rest of you are like coffee with cream without the cream, or coffee. You're totally useless. So bye. With that, Toko trudged out of the dining hall. And now she's gone. And you're gonna go off by yourself, right, Kayako?
Indeed.
That's right. Which just leaves Makoto, Hina, and me.
You know?
In that case, I'm gonna go by myself too.
Just a second.
Wait, how come?
How about that?
Just wait and see. I'm gonna use my totally awesome spirit power to figure out the mastermind's identity. Laughing loudly, Hiro left the dining hall. Everyone's really gonna go off by themselves. What about you, Hina? I guess I'll do the same thing.
But,
I mean, it's not that I don't trust everyone, you know? But up till now, I haven't really been all that useful. I just depended on Sakura and everyone else. You are not useless. If you hadn't been here, I would have died. Makoto. That's really nice of you to say. But still, I know I've mostly been totally useless.
okay.
So I figure out at least here at the end, maybe I can find something that'll help us all get out of here. So I'm gonna go off and do it all on my own. Okay, see you later. Hina was surprisingly high spirits as she dashed out of the dining hall. And once again, it's just us two.
Indeed.
So you're gonna go off on your own too, right, Kayako?
However,
Well, don't misunderstand. Just because we're going to do our searches separately doesn't mean we can't still work together.
so
That goes for all of us. I think I see what you mean. Doing our own investigation doesn't mean we can't work together in the end. I should just see it as us splitting to go. I should just see it as us splitting up to cover more ground, and then we can get back together and share what we found. Yeah, that's right.
so then,
Well, I'd better get going. I have an endless list of things I need to check.
correct.
Monokuma said all the doors in the school had been unlocked, right? So we should be able to investigate every nook and cranny in the school. We can visit all the places we couldn't before. Makoto, no matter what it takes, we have to uncover the truth by any means necessary. With that, Kayako was gone, leaving only me. I don't have any time to waste either. I have to begin my search. I still can't believe the mastermind might be one of us. So that's what I have to prove. I'll prove that the mastermind isn't one of us. I'll expose the mastermind's true identity and solve the mystery of the school. And then we can all escape together. I guess I'll start by taking another look at Makuro's Monokuma file. Due to the explosion, the victim's identity is unknown. They were, however, dead before the blast. The victim had been stabbed a single time with a knife, which went completely through the body. They had also been struck in the head with an object about as thick as a metal pipe. The body was covered with other wounds, but these were at least several days old. Once we find out who killed Makuru Ikusaba, then we'll know who the mastermind is. So where should I start my investigation to figure out who killed her? I guess I should start with the rooms that were locked up until now. The headmaster's room, the biolab, and the door in the data center with Monokuma's face on. Oh, and the second floor of the dorms, where the gate was, down before, and that should open up right. And that should be open up now, right? After that, I'll have to double check the areas that are connected to the murder, which means the garden and the dojo. Okay, time to get started. Let's go to the headmaster's room on the 4th floor. Other wounds of what variety? I don't know really what the other wounds are. They're several days old though. It's must be like scratches or other things like that. All right, the headmaster's room. Got some music. This is the headmaster's room. I've heard of an awful lot about it, but this will be my first time seeing it for myself. Ah, Makoto, it's you. Oh, Byakuya. There are documents scattered all over the floor. Somehow it makes me feel anxious.
Come on.
Hey, Makoto.
Not possible.
Are you ignoring me? You think I'll forgive that just because you're here? You're you?
Such
When we get out of here, remember this moment.
Come on. Not possible. Such ignorance.
So I can't look at the notebook. Well, you came to the right place this time. Would you like to see something interesting? What do you mean, something interesting? Take a look at this. It was on top of that pathetically ostentatious desk. Class 7, number 78. Student registry. It contains profiles for all of us and Makuru.
So in other
Apparently,
words...
class number 78 refers to us. Wait, when we found Makuru's profile in Kayako's room...
I see.
That's right, it also mentioned class number 78. This must be where Kayako got that page. And since the rest of our profiles are listed in there along with hers,
In other words...
there can be no doubt Makuru was a student here at Hope's Peak Academy, just like the rest of us. Makuru Ikusaba, the 16th student. That must be how Kayako learned about it. But it seems that Kayako was in a hurry. Huh? What do you mean? I'm talking about when she stole it. The uneven tearing, the way the paper had been crumpled, and she must have been in a hurry. Well, since she snuck in to get it, I'm sure she wanted to get out as fast as possible. But what's your point? She was in much of a hurry that she only got the first page. The first page. Correct. Makuru's profile actually contains 2 pages. What?
So in other words...
In other words, when it comes to this profile, there was more important information about Makuru that we still didn't have. What kind of information is it? Why do you ask me to explain every little thing? You can read, can't you? It seems to be some sort of detailed report put together by the headmaster himself. I don't know what kind of man he was, but I'm glad he left us such an interesting clue. I was half listening to Byakuya as I skimmed through this report. Makuru reappeared suddenly, and in the background an entity floats close but just out of reach. The entity known as the Ultimate Despair. Right now, I can't be sure if this is a single person or some kind of group. Whatever it is, Makuru definitely has some sort of connection to it. I have a bad feeling about all this. I need to push forward with my research in the Ultimate Despair. And I need to pay attention to Makuru's behavior too. This is just my gut feeling, but I think she's dangerous. Despite the countless battles she must have gone through as a member of Fenrir. When she entered Hope's Peak, she didn't display any signs of battle wounds or scars. That fact alone proves her tremendous skill in battle. Naturally, I want to believe in her. She's one of my students after all. But if I decide she's a danger to the other students, I will be forced to take all reasonable measures. Makuru is a part of the Ultimate Despair. I don't think there can be any doubt about it now. But wouldn't that mean Makuru and the Mastermind were allies? So why? Why would they kill Makuru? Plus, even the headmaster seemed to be afraid of what Makuru was capable of. They would have had to take her completely by surprise to kill her like that. Or maybe it means the Mastermind is even stronger than Makuru was.
What?
What's wrong, Makoto? Huh?
That's fine.
You seem to be lost in thought, but I should probably point out one other thing. There's another important bit of information within the file that you should know. What is it? Did you notice the picture in there? Picture of the girl perhaps you've never seen before. A girl who seems to be included as part of our class, number 78. That should be enough for you to figure out who the girl is. And further information about that girl is included in the file. 5 foot 7 inches, 97 pounds, and it even lists her vitals 31, 22, 32. Well, what do you think? What do I think? Are you asking me, like, if she has a nice body?
Stop talking.
You hopeless idiot. What I'm trying to tell you is maybe you'll want to keep that in mind for later. Maybe you'll make your way back to the corpse, and maybe you'll think, oh, could that mean... Wait, is he trying to say... There's a chance the body isn't actually Mikuru? Is that what he's saying? Personally, what I'm thinking seems all but impossible, but it wouldn't hurt to confirm, right?
It's all clear now.
That's all I was trying to say. What you do with that information is your business. So I'm back to being Byakuya's errand boy. Oh, and one last thing. It's a bit of advice from me to you, so I suggest you pay attention. Advice from me? You seem to be getting along with Kayako quite well. It's not that we're getting along, it's just she's done a lot to help me. Well, don't put too much faith in her. Huh?
In other words,
Cost of faith might be more than you can actually afford. What are you saying? Just what I think. Call it a hunch. A hunch? But my hunches tend to be proven right. The advice is free this time. Take it or don't, as you will. I'll keep it in mind, thanks. Yeah, do not trust the person that got you out of the hole, and trust the person that is selfish. Let's see here, guys. Where do I gotta go next? The bio lab on the 5th floor. Well, here I am in the biolab. It's so cold. It's like abnormally cold. I feel like I'm a giant refrigerator. I feel like I'm in a giant refrigerator. Seriously, why is it so cold? There's a stack of tarps here. I've been seeing a lot of these things lately. So cold. Why is it so cold in here? That's the first thing I need to figure out. There's some kind of weird machine or something built into the wall. And on the left side, there's a bunch of glowing blue lights. But on the other side... there's some kind of weird machine or something built into the wall. I seen something like this before. Ah, that's it. I've seen this kind of thing in horror movies and stuff. It's a fridge for storing dead bodies. Does that mean this biolab is actually a morgue? I should probably take a closer look around. Alright, I think I looked at it. Except for the TV and the camera. I'm surprised the surveillance camera can work with how cold it is in here. There are icicles hanging from the monitor. Totally trust the stuck-up guy who's been wrong more times than the girl he's going after. Trying to discredit. Alright, let's see if we can get out of here. It says I got more to learn here. But I've already checked everywhere where you can click. Oh, there's some kind of booklet here. It looks like an instruction manual. We offer eco-friendly alternative to standard dry ice for all your cadaver needs. In addition to the germicidal lamps, we also provide an ozone generator for the removal of ethylene gas. Simply insert the cadaver and the blue light will let you know the automated systems have been activated. Temperature and humidity levels will be adjusted automatically for optimum settings. With our system, anyone can keep a body fresh as a daisy for as long as you need. In the unlikely event of a problem, the red light will activate and an alarm will sound immediately. The exterior is stainless steel and we do offer an optional leather upholstery upgrade package. This is the instruction manual for the fridge. Well, looking around, I think I get it. It seems clear to me now. It's some kind of makeshift morgue. And about those lights by each slot. It looks like it's set up so that when a slot is occupied, the blue light comes on. Which would mean inside each slot lit up in blue, another one of the victims is. I can't let my emotions take control right now. There's only one thing that I can do for everyone who's died, and that's defeat the mastermind. And to do that, I have to continue my investigation. I don't have any other option. The Monokuma door in the data center on the 4th floor.
Makoto.
Wait, is this where I'm supposed to go? Yeah, I can't help but to wonder about that Monokuma door.
Yeah.
So I figured if all the doors in the school had been unlocked, that one should be open too, right?
But,
Although I couldn't bring myself to open it.
I mean,
Because it might explode, right? And that really sucked. So you open it? I'm sure she didn't mean it, but she made it sound like she was okay with me getting blown up. Okay, so I guess I'll open it. Wait, let me take cover first. I don't want to get exploded. Nina raced over to a nearby desk and hid underneath it. Okay, go ahead. Everything will be okay, right? Alright, here goes nothing. I threw all my weight into it, but the door opened much easier than I expected. Whoa, look at this. Jeez, it's like a pilot's room. There was no explosion, thankfully. My first impressions was... Whoa, this place is totally sci-fi. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, I was kind of thinking the same thing. There's some kind of a hatch on the floor. But right now I'm more concerned with that weird device. What is this device? It looks like some kind of control panel. It's really over the top though, like some kind of military installation or something. Yeah, it kind of looks like a mech cockpit, right? Hifumi'd probably freak out if he saw it. Cockpit? So the Monokuma room has a control panel that looks like some kind of cockpit. Then could that mean?
okay.
All right, let's start poking at it or whatever. I'm gonna start pushing buttons. Hold on, you can't just or whatever, or something like this. But it was too late. Hina was already jabbing away at the control panel. Huh? Did you hear that? Yeah, I think it came from the other room. Hina, what did you push? I'm not totally sure, but I think it was that one, the button that says Data Center. Data Center. I took a good look at the control panel, and I saw a bunch of buttons, each with the name of the room next to it. And just like Hina said, there was one labeled Data Center. That must be the one she pushed. But the Data Center, that's right next door. The room we're just in, that's where the strange noise came from. I'd probably better go check it out.
Yeah.
Yes, please, I'm scared out of my mind right now, so I'll just cheer you on from here or whatever, or from over here. Alright, let's see here. Is that Monokuma? Hey. Give me all your donuts. Is that you, Hina?
What?
What? Oh man, busted. How did you know?
Say what?
Anyway, what is this? Some kind of remote control camera kind of setup? You don't even know what you're controlling.
Hello.
Well, I mean, I can't really see anything from in here.
Found it.
And guess what I found? A self-destruct button. Whatever you do, don't push it.
Too bad.
Were you seriously gonna push it? Anyway, I guess that settles it. The room with Monokuma drawing on it, and the control panel inside. Well, Makoto, what the heck was that just now? Monokuma. What do you mean? What were you doing controlling just now? It was Monokuma.
Huh?
Monokuma. What? For real? Yep, it looks like that panel definitely controls Monokuma. Which means the mastermind has been controlling Monokuma from this room. Yeah, they were definitely in here. The mastermind has been controlling Monokuma from this room. And this control room is totally separate from the data center area with all the monitors. In other words,
Hey,
maybe the mastermind can't monitor us and control Monokuma at the same time. Kaiko's theory was right. But if the mastermind's been controlling Monokuma from here, that means they've been inside the school this whole time, right? I guess that would have to be true. But if that's true, it's a very polarizing approach, I know, but okay. Even enough puns. Anyway, here's a hint. I'm sure I told you this already, but this killing game began with 16 participants, all of them high school students. And the only people to take a single step in Hope's Peak since the killing game began are those 16 students. Then the mastermind, Monokuma's puppeteer, really is the 16th student. No, it can't be. There's no way, right? What's wrong, Makoto? I don't like that face you're making. Oh no, it's nothing. Oh, okay. What about you? Is everything okay? Oh, well, it's just... This is where the mastermind's been hiding, right? Who knows if they set up the traps or something. I can't say it isn't possible. But I really hope it's not true. So, like, you want to leave soon? There's still lots of other places to check out. Yeah, good point. We can't waste all our time standing around here. Okay, you want to get going? Yep. Click. As soon as the door to the data center was closed, I heard a strange sound. What was that? Ah, the door, it just locked on its own. What? My hand shot out to grab the doorknob. Rattle, rattle. You're right, it's locked, but why? Of course it's locked because the data center is now restricted. Monokuma.
Just a second.
Hey, no fair. You just go around restricting whatever you feel like?
Hey,
It's for your benefit. Because if that room stays open, I won't be able to move around. Imagine how depressed everyone would get if the school mascot just up and stopped moving. Found that room.
Yep.
As you may have guessed, that's where my controls are. So you're right. So right now, you're being operated by someone in that room?
Yes, indeed.
Correctamundo.
You're a liar.
But that doesn't make any sense. We were just in there and we didn't see you and we didn't see anyone. Oh, you didn't, did you? Are you sure you were as thorough as you could have been? Did you happen to check a certain suspicious hatch? No way. The hatch on the floor? Too bad, that was your one big chance and you blew it.
Too bad.
Of course that hatch can't be opened from the outside anyway, so whatever. Now then, this room is officially restricted, so no more investigating. I'll be relying on you guys to tell the others. Peace. He's gone, but... Was he telling the truth? The mastermind was hiding in there? In fact, if you think back to when we got locked out of the control room, that proves it for sure.
Huh?
Then when I said we should leave, well, that hatch couldn't be opened from the outside anyway, right? So it's not your fault.
Sorry.
Anyway, we don't have to let it get to us. We have to stay positive and make the most of the time we have left. You're right. If there's one thing I'm good at, it's keeping my body moving.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna go around and tell everyone what we found here. Nice, you've got me all motivated again.
You got it.
Okay, I'm out. See you later. Hina took off at full sprint. And I have to do what I can too. That's the only way forward. Alright guys, I think I am gonna call it there. Yes, I'm going to call it there, guys. Thank you all for watching and tuning in. Appreciate it. I'll see you tomorrow with Splatoon. Does anybody have Overcooked 2? Yeah, I wanted to ask you guys that. If anybody had Overcooked 2. See you later, yes. Thanks for hanging out. You don't, Spider? It's on sale right now with all the DLC for $12. And it's online. That'd be a good one to play. Wednesday. Anyway, guys, I shall see you tomorrow with Splatoon. Thanks.